Is this guy cheating? How did you know that guy was there? Nice shot. Holy shit, dude. You're in copper. Coppers do not do this. There was a lot of really good things that round that I think a lot of people can learn from, and this guy's in copper. Let's keep that in mind. Dude, that's fantastic. I'm really proud of you. Will you marry me? Hello and welcome back to Spectating Nightmares. I just rolled out of bed and now we're gonna criticize some gameplay because that's my life. I hate you. Today we have Crusader, who is a copper 1. I don't really play ranked that much because I'm too scared that I'll lose a match. I think this is a really good thing to mention and talk about because a lot of people feel that way. They play ranked and they get worried about making a bad play or making a mistake, and they're just stressing the entire time they're playing the game. And I think one thing that helps people get over this is instead of playing to win, you are playing to learn. Because if you're playing to learn, you're not worried about making mistakes because the mistakes are giving you knowledge to get better. If you approach ranked in this worried, anxious way, try your best to remember and remind yourself that you're just playing to learn. You're just trying to get better at the game and learn the game, and that's all it is. I play in training modes more than I play the actual game. That's kind of crazy. I do think that I need to know what I'm doing wrong and why I am dying. Anything to improve my game will help me. I want to get to plat, but I would be happy with getting silver for now. All right, so goal is plat, currently copper. Let's see what Crusader's got in the tank. All right, we're starting out with Tubero. He knows the footholes, so that's good. I mean, you know the site setup, so that's good. Yeah, making the footholes here is great. Reinforcing it all off. You see the action. You see how he's taking immediate action in the prep phase. He's instantly going. He already has a plan. He already knows what he's doing. He's probably picking Tubero for that reason, to stall out this breach, so he's already setting up for it. That's something that you don't see very often in copper that we need to see more of if you want to improve at this game, which is immediately going and doing the stuff that you should be doing. Already, this is far superior to copper gameplay just based on the setup and like actually doing stuff in the prep phase. We see a lot of times players just run around the bomb site cluelessly, but having a plan is always the first step to improving. So good start, and now it's kind of falling off as we stand in the middle of the bomb site, knifing the Cade still. Just trying to get him to put his Cade claw down. This is where you gotta let go of that control. You gotta let your teammates do whatever. If you have a Cade who doesn't put stuff on the wall, yeah, you're in copper, you know, but you can still be the guy that slows down the push with your Tubero canisters, right? Like, just because one of your teammates, and this is the thing, just because you had one bad teammate who didn't place his Cade claw, in copper by the way, so it's not really the end of the world, that led you to not using your utility because you're too pissed off at the fact that Cade didn't put his Cade claw down. And I'm assuming you're pissed off, but it looked like it, the fact that you're knifing him over and over trying to get him to do it, and you got so distracted by that you didn't even use your utility. And now it's too late, and now you're peeking into a breach that's already open. Which is, this is a silly peek, by the way, but, you know, if you have better aim and you're in copper, maybe you can slam them all. So a little bit of tunnel vision, but that's okay. Like, you don't have to play aggressive, right? So if I'm an attacker just holding this angle, you're peeking right into it, right? Like, you're just giving a free kill. But you got to think, like, once the attackers push and get to this point, now they're exposed to a bunch of angles. I mean, ideally you have a rotate and stuff, but you know, now they're exposed over here. They could be aiming here. They might have to aim here. You could be tucked up against this wall, or you could be like prone behind here or crouched here. So they don't know which side to check when they hit that doorway, which is when you kind of gain that advantage. But peeking directly into the tightest line of sight isn't a good thing. Also, castle in copper, please stop playing castle in copper. These are horrible. Okay, these are the worst castles ever. Stop playing castle in copper. I mean, nice shot. Like, yeah, your aim is good. It's just that if that guy's slightly better, like, he would just pull the trigger when you're peeking him, right? So you want to make sure you're taking advantage gunfights. Like, if you can have a gunfight in your advantage, that would be holding a pixel off the bomb. Like, let's say you're holding an angle off the bomb and you're holding a pixel right onto this. So if somebody peeks into it, you are just this tiny, tiny hitbox, but you're already aimed here and then you shoot them. Instead of peeking into the pixels they have, you want to establish these pixel peaks, hold them, and punish people that peek into them. With you being kind of a good example of the person peeking into it that should be getting punished if the other team is not like 100% ass, right? I'm not sure why you're so worried about what your teammates are doing. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, right here, you're just like, you're too focused on the C4. And because you're like shooting the C4 and stuff, and you're worried about what, like, this is probably scaring the fuck out of this guy because he's in copper. He's like, oh, I hear the C4 beeping. He doesn't realize he killed Cade and that was the guy with the C4. He's just thinking there's a C4. We're at level 1 of understanding of the game. We hear a C4, I'm gonna blow up. Doesn't matter who threw it, you know? I don't think he's putting 2 and 2 together. The fact that you're shooting it is actually helping the other team, but then also also after shooting it, you're turning around, you're looking at a closed doorway, you're kind of freaking out, but really, like, they can only come from here. You just have to aim at it. Copper, I think the biggest thing Coppers need to start doing is holding angles. If you're on defense, you sit in somewhere where you're not going to get shot in the back, like here, and you hold an angle on the only entrance they can get through. If you just sit in this corner, or you sit here on this desk and hold an angle, crouch behind it, you will punish anyone who crosses this line of sight, and they have to cross this line of sight because that's the only way into the bomb site. So inevitably, they're going to be walking through it, you're holding an angle, and you shoot them. Like, we really, in Copper, we want to simplify the game as much as possible by taking away, like, this kind of movement where we're looking around, we're too worried about things, because then you're swinging into him, you don't have cover, and, like, he's just winning the gunfight, right? Let's move on to round 2. We'll see how round 2 looks. Round 2 might be better. Also, the Tubero was complete, like, we didn't do anything with the Tubero. I think we could pick someone. Either we're going to use it to stall time on the breach, which I don't think playing time stall in a rank like Copper is a smart option, simply because you're never getting to the point where they're, like, running out of time, and if they are, you're probably not playing that time correctly, and Tubero is a time stall operator. So I would recommend being the Cade player, playing Malusi, playing Capcan, playing Legion, playing Trap Frost. Playing trap operators that will just passively do stuff for you and help you is always going to be a better option in this rank, because of the fact that it requires no skill just to place your gadgets, and if you just place your gadgets, you're going to do well. This is a fine castle. I am concerned about where the rest of your castles are going to go, because castling them out of the bomb site is not good. The windows are great. The windows would be great to castle. Castling this, also not great. The outside door, fine. The problem with Castle and Copper, if you're new here on the channel and you're new to Spectating Nightmares, is that castling off these doorways into sight and stuff, which you can tell he's learned. He's not doing that. But if you castle off these doorways, what does that mean? It means it can take all the space for free, start opening angles into the site, and pounding your team from these exterior walls. So then all of a sudden you're sitting here or here or whatever, and you're getting shot from all the different angles of someone coming skybridge, through the wall, through the site, right? So you're kind of losing control of the bomb site. Now, it would work if you actually reinforced all these walls, simply because Coppers are probably not good enough to break that defense apart. So a simple defense is nice, and you can just sit on site in Copper. However, it's only going to get you so far. You're not going to learn a lot, and a lot of the time you are just going to get screwed over by it. This one's okay. This one's fine. I'm not going to hate on that. I'm glad we're reinforcing the walls. This is really good. This is something we missed on the last round, which you could have done as Tubero, since your site setup's so short. You spent most of your prep phase knifing Cade after he wouldn't put his Cade Claw down, but, you know, as you can tell, knifing Cade the entire round did not achieve the result you thought it would. And again, this is crazy. I could see why this would piss you off. You know, as a player who's competitive, who has not been at the highest ranked in other games, you know, I play CSGO and I'm like 10,000 MMR. So I get matched with like some 5,000 sometimes. And they're the worst players I've ever seen. You know, they do the dumbest things. They get in my way when I'm holding something by myself completely fine. Then they walk in front of me and I shoot them in the back of the head because they're stupid. So I know what you mean when this guy comes and rips down both your castles like a freaking moron when he could just play the mirror that he set up. And I understand that's frustrating. And I understand you want to literally shoot this guy in the back of the head right now, because that's what I would do as his teammate in this situation. In game, of course. I mean, I don't know why we would allude to anything else, but somebody might be like, oh, Poxonlox said bad things. Anyway, good for you for not shooting him in the head. The hardest part about that, though, is not letting it get to your head. So, like, if you're pissed at him, you can be like, that's kind of, it's already too late, right? You gotta just be like, these guys are Copper. You know, I'm playing with Coppers, and that stuff's gonna happen, and that's fine. Why? Because you don't need the best site setup in the world to win in Copper, and that is the biggest point, is that you can win with no utility in Copper. It's more about positioning and playing smart rather than your utility when you're in a rank like Copper. It's more about keeping your mental, winning your gunfights, taking advantaged gunfights like this, where you're peeking off the mirror and they're in the middle of the open. That's a gunfight where you have the advantage. Very nice. Good pre-fire, good awareness. Like, you know what you're doing. Your understanding of the game is much higher than most Coppers, I would say. And that's a great starting point. You probably do just need to play the game more. Like, if you just haven't played enough games to get to bronze or silver, I would be surprised if you couldn't get to silver just by playing the game more. So don't be afraid to play the game. The moral of the story is, you can win in Copper even with bad utility and bad setups. It's like, because you're still playing against Coppers at the end of the day, and they are equally as bad So if you just learn to hold angles, win gunfights, take advantage gunfights, you're going to have a much better time in this rank. And I think this player understands that very well, and I think he could easily get to silver already, just based off like his awareness. Like you see, he just knows what's going on. He's reacting to the situations properly, like in ways that are logical and make sense. And that's how this game works, you know? That's a big thing that a lot of players don't pick up on ever even. That's why we have coppers with over 1,000 hours in the game, like one of my previous spectating nightmares. That was a real nightmare. I actually had nightmares about that one for weeks. I'm not gonna lie, this Scopos bot is... this actually might work in copper. I was gonna say this is completely useless and the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but I think a copper would open up this breach, walk right past it, you would transition to it, and they would just stand here with not a single clue, because I don't even think most coppers know what Scopos does. So that actually is kind of a banger in copper, I'm not gonna lie. So whoever this guy is, Sergeant C. Grooves, sick tech, bro. Now, I do worry about you doing this, mainly because you're just, like, this guy's on the rappel, you just looked at him, and then you walked in front of the hole backwards, so just be aware. Just be more aware of, like, what you're actually exposing yourself to. This is a little bit of geometry here. This is, like, trying to figure out how the new Denari trips work and, like, if they actually connect to one another. You're gonna need to learn that. You're gonna need to learn that, especially with him on the board, so just be careful of that, and just focus. Yeah, just keep your attention there. Your teammates are kind of holding the rest. You do have castles left. You have 3 castles left still. So, again, don't play castle, because your teammates are gonna rip them down, or they're gonna be, like, not as ideal as you think. And just play Malusi. Like, just play Malusi, dude. I actually checked this guy's stats before this game, and he had, like, a 70% win rate on Malusi. Wow, that was crazy. See, this is completely unnecessary. There's 30 seconds left. This is why you're almost throwing your life away. There's 30 seconds left and you're like, kill me. Like, you're asking to die in the last 30 seconds. You don't need to reinforce that. They're not going to come through there. Why? Because you have a mirror on it. So they can't push there, and if they try, you're just going to kill them. There's no need to reinforce that in the last 30 seconds. I mean, at least you know where they're coming out. This is also a disadvantage gunfight. This gives the attackers an advantage because you're prone, you're not moving, they're moving, you're shooting their legs. You can't hold this window with an advantage, but if they come 90, you're losing that gunfight. So I would not recommend proning on this angle. I mean, there's 20 seconds. They have to plant the bomb. What's a better thing we can do here? So a better thing we could do in this situation, instead of going prone, because we're at a disadvantage in this gunfight, it's just a good thing to know. You might not realize that, but if you're ever prone in the middle of the open like this, you're at a disadvantage, because if they come around this corner, let's say Mirror's dead, you know, they fry his ass, whatever, then they peek this, like, you're just a sitting duck and you can't move, whereas they're kind of coming in with some speed. You kind of have to flick to them. You also have to kill them. You have to do enough damage to kill them. So, like, this is not a good advantage. So instead, what we could do, if we have this rotate here, which you should be making because you're playing castle and you have the super shorty, you have a rotate here. You can play behind the desk and you can look through this rotate on a head glitch. So again, you have lots of cover. They have to shoot you in the head, and then they're in the middle of the open on this doorway. So you can shoot them anywhere in the body or the head, making them much easier to kill than you are. And then you have a huge advantage and they can't get into this bomb site. And that's a great way to hold this if you're in copper, if you fight against a lot of these green takes, because a lot of these people won't open this wall. They'll just try to feed in. They'll come up here and they'll just walk in, and they will just die to this not ridiculously long, but like this good angle. Like, this is just a good angle and people won't be aware of it up until like a certain point, and then people will start adjusting, and then you'll develop your strategies more and it'll be even better. So make better angles, hold better angles. You will always have the advantage if you are in cover, holding an angle on something that there's no way for them to get cover. Now you just shit on this guy, so that's good. This is a lot better. This is a lot better. Why? Why is this angle a lot better than the other one? Does anybody know? Answer in the comments in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because I'm going to answer it right now. So now when he swings the corner, you have a lot of cover. You're way harder to see. And if he tries to peek this pixel to shoot you, that is the only spot you are aiming now. This is much better, significantly better. And then you shit on him because, you know, there's no other options at that point. All right, let's see the setup this time. This is good. Great castle. Castle, this would be good. Basically, if you're playing castle and copper, the only right answer is to castle the exterior windows and doorways. If you're putting castles anywhere else in copper, there's a very, very good chance it is hurting your team. Like this. That one would probably hurt your team. Why? Because now they can take bathroom for free and hold this very safely with their flank covered, holding angles into sight and the stairs, and contesting all of this area for free. Or they can take lockers knowing that they can't be pushed from bathroom, meaning they can push this hallway for free now. So now they have this wrap on the bomb site that you have given them that is helping them take the bomb site easier. And you might not realize that, and they might not realize that, but it's still what they will do. So they see this castle. What do? Let's say they're pushing here already because they're dumb and they just like, I push this window every time. So they hop in this window like, okay, this is castled. Well, I can't go this way. So you're automatically forcing them this way, and they might not even realize it, but they can't get flanked. They can't get flanked. So now they have the safety net, and anyone who tries to peek them here, they're just shooting. So they're just locking down this area, and your team can no longer rotate through this hallway safely at all. You want to hold this entire floor on this site. You want to, instead of playing castle here, play a frost. Put a frost mat under these windows, okay? And then put your last frost mat literally anywhere you want. Under the stairs, on the stairs, tucked in the corner here, whatever. And you're going to play in this hallway. You're going to play in lockers. You're going to sit behind this or in this hallway, and when they hop in this window, you're going to peek out and shoot them. And then you just have a free kill. And not only do you have a free kill, they can't get in this doorway now, because when they walk in this doorway, you're holding an angle off this locker, shooting them in the side of the head. So they can't push in anywhere now, and now it's really, really difficult for them to even get in the building if they want to take this first floor. They can push from this way, but it's also great to play here and swing off this information as long as you have information on the stairs. So you're just kind of forcing them to not be able to get in the site, or sorry, in the building, which is why Canal is so defender-sided. But if you give them all this space for free, now they're in the building, adding pressure to the bomb site, and it's no longer defender-sided. Plus, you might have the fuse going above. You know, you might have the fuse going above and fusing all the floor out because you might not have roamers because you're in copper or whatever, or they're hitting the hatch and they're dropping the hatch. So now you're on the site, you're locked into the site because you've given up everything else, and they're pushing you from vertical, and now they have like a 3D push going on the site, and they're clapping your cheeks from multiple directions, and nobody likes that. So don't give up this entire floor for free. It is not worth it. You've also just blocked off your own escape route. So now you're stuck in bathroom, meaning one flashbang and you can't even run away. Like, you can't even run away if they flashbang you. Not that they're going to, because we're in copper, but you almost did this perfectly. You almost played this perfectly. What's the problem? Why did you lose this gunfight? I think this frame shows us exactly why you lost this gunfight. Watch what happens. He sees the Zofia, he reacts to the Zofia. Where's his crosshair? Behind the Zofia the entire time. And why is that? Let's go back. It all stems from something. He's aiming too tight. He's holding the door like this. Put your crosshair here, because when people peek in, then when you're already aimed here, by the time you actually pull the trigger and react, because we all have reaction times as human beings, look where he's standing. I said put your crosshair here. When do you start moving? Right there. So literally when your reaction time hits, you would have been right on him and you would have won the gunfight because you have the advantage of cover. Plus, look what happens. You give up your cover mid-fight, and that's how you die. Look at it from his perspective. In copper, the biggest thing is shooting people, and that's pretty much it. It's one of the biggest things. I mean, you also just want, like, make them plant by holding the bomb site and shoot them. So if you can't shoot them, look, he has no idea. He has no idea. He is playing off pure reaction to where you were. Like, this guy shot a wall before shooting you. This guy shot a random wall. Like, he's pre-firing nothing. And then he's on ADS, and then as he's ADSing in, that's when you should already be killing him. So that's an easy fix. Just hold your angles a little wider, because realistically, coppers aren't quick peeking pixel peeks. They're just walking into the building because we're in the lowest rank in the game. That guy did shit on you up. I think you're in copper, but I think your hidden MMR is about silver. So I think the game's naturally trying to put you in that rank. You just need to play more games, or like high bronze even, because like this is a lot better gameplay than we typically see from our actual like hard stuck coppers who are copper every single season. So again, you just need to play more to actually get that rank, because rank 2.0 is garbage, and we all know that. All right, so we're playing Nomad, which is good. She's good in this rank. I don't love it. She's good on this map, but I don't love it in this rank. I think you'd have a lot more success on, well, I don't know. Let's see what maybe I'm about to be proved wrong. I was gonna say like Ace. Ace is really simple. You want to play as simple operators as you can in this rank. The simpler the better. Striker is gonna be really good. And those were two operators that you had really high win percentage with. Dokubi's gonna be great because she's gonna kind of like unify your whole team with very little effort, right? You can't really mess up Dokubi. This is bugging right now, but just shoot this open right away. I mean, you have the 0 cam on it, but if you just shoot this open right away, it adds pressure instantly. Plus, you'll realize this is all reinforced. Oh, I can take this for free. Then when you take this and you see it's just Ella there, what can you do? You're Nomad. You can air jab the corner, air jab this doorway, flashbang this guy and swing in on her, and then clap her cheeks. There you go. You just got red stairs control. Now you're holding red stairs. You have a rotate through the site. You know, you can just hold this angle off a head glitch off the top of the stairs. So if anybody peeks this doorway or peeks through this rotate or walks through the rotate, you are killing them, and now you've probably killed the whole team. Plus you have an extra air jab to air jab your flank, so if this guy tries to flank, you're gonna clap him too. And now you've established very dominant map control very early by just using your utility in one drone. And that's all gonna stem from this reinforcement. So if you ever see this wall reinforced, try to take red stairs if you have the utility for it. That could look like something else too. Smoking this door, smoking this hallway, and then pushing in on this guy, right? This is definitely higher than copper based off these site setups. Like we have roamers, we have a guy holding red. Like this has to be at least silver gameplay. So we're gonna elect for the hop out air jabs, which this one's good mainly for this run out. This one is very, very useless, I'd say. If somebody's jumping out of here, they're not really getting anything with it, so they're just gonna hit the air jab and that's gonna be it, so there's just no point. You also want to keep in mind that you guys don't have a hard breacher except for hard breach tools, which is way worse. If you don't have a thermite on this site or an ace to open up a big breach, plus they have a bandit, it's gonna be very, very difficult to push through that breach. You need to stop pushing this wall on canal, okay? Opening this is great. It adds a bunch of pressure to the site. It's fantastic. If you can open this, open it. Great. But honestly, taking red stairs or green stairs is usually the easiest thing to do, or jumping in through these hallway windows. But again, canal is like a bunker. It's very hard to get in. But using your air jabs like this when you don't even have like a hard breacher and your team really, like, you just look at your team and say, we don't have a hard breach. We don't have an ace. We don't have a thermite. I got to push somewhere else. So that instantly to me says, I should take this control. You drone this out. You see it's free. You can air jab it off. Now you have skybridge. Now you have this deadly head glitch on this box, right? And it looks all the way through into sight. If anybody crosses this line of sight, you're gonna win that gunfight. And bandit's coming right there. Look, that could be your guy right there. So anyway, already on the attacks, the biggest thing I'm noticing is you just need to try to take space. Like, lots of things are free. If you use a single drone in the first minute, you'd find those things are free, and you'd have a risk-free way to get inside the building, establish map presence, and by having map presence and being inside the building, holding angles, doing whatever, just literally sitting inside the building with your gun up, you will kill people simply by them walking in front of you. Either that or everything's going to be free and you can take the bomb site. And then people are going to walk in front of you for sure at some point, and you're definitely going to kill them, right? If you want more kills, get inside the building. That is my #1 tip for attacking in this game. If you want to get more kills and have a better chance of winning, instead of sitting outside baiting for kills, because this only gets you kills, if you're inside the building, you are going to get more kills. You're going to have a higher KD, because I know you guys are all like freaking stroking it to the fact that you have a 1.5 KD or whatever. You know, my friends are going to think I'm the sickest. I don't care. I personally don't give a shit, because you're still bad if you're baiting. So anyway, if you want to do that, you just get inside the building and then clap their cheeks that way. It's good team play, having the cover and getting the revive off.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
All right, now we're inside the building. This should have happened. This should have happened 2 minutes ago, because now you only have 40 seconds to clear through all of this. If you did this 2 minutes ago, you would have killed these guys way sooner, because they're just swinging you, and you have the cover of this door frame if you play it properly. It's not the best cover, but if you were doing this 2 minutes ago, you would have all the space already, and you'd have that 2 minutes to bait inside the building, where they're most likely to be crossing and rotating and moving through the main bomb site, right? So we want to take this control way, 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 way sooner, instead of sitting outside for the building for 2.5 minutes doing literally nothing. You have done 0 things so far this round. You put your air jab down for the run out. That's one thing that I'll give you credit for. That was good. Other than that though, you like, why are we waiting so long? Okay, you just shit on that guy. That was actually crazy. Well, yeah, why are we waiting so long when you can hit shots like that? That's my question. But again, you have 20 seconds. Now there's no time to drone. There's no time to use your utility now. You're just kind of panicking and peeking into them wherever you think. Use your flashbangs though. Use your flashbangs. Good. You use the flashbang. It came at the wrong time, right? It came at the wrong time. I mean, it's unfortunate this guy peaked with 15 seconds. But that's something that you should have done way, 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 way sooner. I like that you did it. Unfortunate timing. Do it way sooner, right? That's my tips. Because here's the thing. Here's the other thing. I'm sorry. I'm kind of going on for a while about this. But look at this. If you go in here in the first minute, instead of baiting outside and running around and hoping they peek you and being stupid, if you go in here right away, then you hold this door. You just hold this doorway. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit and hold an angle for 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 15 seconds. Oh, he doesn't peek you? Okay. You still know he's here, because let's say you droned him. Okay, you drone it, you take it, you hold this. You know he's here. He's not peeking you. He's just hiding. He's just waiting. He's waiting. Now you use the flashbang. Why? Because it's highly unlikely that he's going to peek you if he hasn't peeked you in the first 15-20 seconds knowing you're here. So now you can flashbang him, use your air jabs, flashbang him again, push, right? Dump all your utility in a smart way to gain that control. But then you're kind of then if he does get aggressive, you're getting the kill on him, because you're already holding the angle, and because your aim is way better than pretty much everybody in this lobby. So use it to your advantage. Having a drone in sight is great, especially knowing what ops they have. I would just stop moving it though. Like, if you keep moving it, they're gonna find it. And there you go. Run Buck. This is fine. Buck's fine. Very well rounded. Very simple, you know, and that's what we want. Simple operators in the lowest rank in the game. Okay, guys? So we're doing it out top. Your teammate's already in, though. So what are we doing? Here's my question. What is this doing for your teammate? Good. Yes, good. Right answer. He's already in. My drone's doing fucking nothing. Get off the drone. Good work. That's exactly what you want to do. See, the second you realize that your drone is being useless because this guy's just running through, you got off of it. That's what you need to do. That's fantastic. I'm really proud of you. I'm really happy. Will you marry me? I've got one complaint. I have one complaint. You walked in here and just didn't aim. Like, just aim at this doorway. If you walk in here before you start bugging, just hold this doorway for 10 seconds. See if anyone flanks. Your whole team is up here. Really, the only, like, you guys have so much vertical pressure. The only way you guys lose this is if you get flanked because nobody's holding the flank. If I'm flanking right now, you're dead. Fuse is dead. Sledge is probably dead too. And now it's a 5v2 and you have lost the round. You will literally lose the round instantly from a flank if you're doing this take. Or if they have a C4 below, you know, your whole team's probably dead. This is just a really bad looking positional hold. You don't all want to be in the same spot because if you're all in the same spot, you're effectively working as one player. One person can come in here and open the floor or fuse the floor or sledge the floor, right? Any of the three of you can do this and it's probably should be fuse. Let him fuse first while you hold the flank. You know, maybe you drone into here, drone again, gain information. Then you can kind of hold this hallway. Or you see this clash is here. Fuck it. There might not be another roamer. You buck through this wall, fly through, and then you clap his cheeks and he's eliminated. Pressure is gone. Because you guys are already playing like so risky. Yeah, right? You guys are just running in the building anyway. So if you want to run in the building, do it with confidence. But again, main stairs is something you have to worry about here too, which you don't. You don't look at it. This is a really good spot to play as a defender. You can sit here. You can hold this corner off the start. If anyone comes through this hallway, they're getting clapped. Why? You have a head glitch. You have cover. You have an advantage. They probably, if they haven't droned you, they don't know you're there and you're shooting them like Buck. And if nobody comes here and you know they're in this room, you can lurk up this hallway, hit the flank, do exactly what I just said, kill the whole team. And if they do drone you out, this is why there is no reason not to play here on defense. If they do drone you out, you shoot the drone, you fall off very safely because there's no cuts outside of trench. But if you just sprint across, because you're in copper, they're not going to land that shot. Or you can jiggle peek it, see if the one's there, slam them off the doorway if you're in a higher rank. But you can literally up to like Emerald Diamond, you could just sprint across here, get back in cover, and then you can hold trench from this pixel angle, and you're holding main stairs at the same time. So holding top main, playing here as a defender is really, really good. And you can see exactly why based on the way you are pushing this right now. Nice shot. Holy shit, dude. See, like, you're in copper, bro. You're in copper. Coppers do not do this. So I'm thinking you're probably in, like, silver MMR, though, which means, yeah, just play the game more. The thing is, when you play with confidence, your gun skill is so good that you should not be freaking out the whole time. You should just be playing to learn. And this is way better. This is fantastic. This is what you should have been doing when you guys came in here the first time. You're sitting and holding the flank. And I'm glad you realized it. I'm glad you picked up on it. I'm not sure if you would have done it if Clash wasn't here, but I'm glad Clash was here and I'm glad this did happen because once you killed this Clash, you knew the other guy was coming. So you just held, aim. Firstly, aim, because if this guy is looking at you, you just died. If you just aim like you are right here, like this, you hold this whole cross, you just hold this, your team is doing all their stuff, you know, they're working sight, they're shooting through the floor, fantastic. If they get flanked from this route, you're shutting all of them down. And you see how much faster you killed this guy because you were just aiming? Just fucking aim, dude. Stop hip firing everywhere. You just keep your sights up like this all the, like, literally 90% of the time. Like, I would honestly say just start aiming all the time. Like, here again, you're not aiming. You're not aiming. You're not, like, just aim. Just aim. Yeah, exactly. Like this. Perfect. Walk around the map aiming. Do this all the time. You're going to kill so many people this way. You're going to get so many more kills by just aiming. And that's fine to kind of unaim there because you're kind of checking the general area. You can't really check every angle one by one. This is good. Nice play. Good aggression. Absolutely no problems with that round outside of that first initial push. There was a lot of really good things that round that I think a lot of people can learn from, and this guy's in copper. Let's keep that in mind. So we're 8-3 at this point, and this is a really strong 8-3. These are really strong kills. These are impact frags. These are not kills while baiting. They're kills that have helped your team win rounds. These have been really, really strong kills. This is no regular 8-3. Like, we see people that are 12-1 on this series, and these people are 12-1 because they get literally perfect timing and perfect luck in that one game, and then that's the game they submit. This is not perfect luck and time. This is good shots, good aggression, and impact frags that are helping your team. You killed 3 people that could have killed your entire team upstairs. That's very, very impactful, right? Because if any of those guys get through, they're killing your fuse, they're killing your capital, and now you're in like a 1v3, 1v4, and that round goes much, much differently. Yep, just hold the angle, exactly. Now this is even kind of dumb. Like, I know he's outside and you're like, oh, I gotta kill him because he's right there and he's peeking it. Just run over here, hit the rappel. What do you know? This guy's a freebie. This guy's an absolute freebie if you hit the rappel. Because then you can see his entire body and you're not trying to challenge. Like, he's looking at you. What you're peeking right now, his view is the same thing, right? So he's also trying to hit that quick peek one tab. You guys are having an even fight. This is why I call it an even fight. I know you see him outside. Okay, this is a better way to do it, but you're much less likely to get the kill. He's also wasting all your time. So just rappel up and kill his ass. You can even rappel here if you want, because if you rappel up here, you can do the same thing. You can still head glitch this and he can't run and you locked him out and he's just dead. So you can save a lot of time that way. Luckily, you guys did end up killing him. That guy's slightly better. He probably kills you. He probably kills your teammate. And you guys lost a round right there, right? So just hit the rappel. If that ever happens, just go to the rappel. Okay, now what? Now we got to figure out what's next. That's the next question. We're kind of sitting, we're waiting. The last round was a substantially better round than the Nomad round. I do want to point that out as well. It's like, we saw the map control, we saw the aggression, we saw what taking the space actually does for your team. But again, we are all stacked on each other once again. This is why people play Pulse in like the rank above you guys, because this is a triple kill. Or a Valk cam up here, this is just the freest C4 of your life. If you play people that do this a lot, run a Pulse and C4 their ass, or run a Valk, pre-place your C4 right here, have a camera up in these shelves because they're pretty hidden. You know, you could put one right in this shelf right here. And then when people do this, you see them like this, you get off your cam, you blow it, you just got a triple kill. Wow, let's go. But you guys are pushing into crossfires, yeah. And you guys are doing the exact same thing as last round, which makes the other team adjust and react. Good refrag, but I'm not a fan. Honestly, I would just prefer you guys just go lockers and take direct sight. Because look at this. Okay, this kid's actually playing it pretty well. But if you went this way, look, there's no traps here. There's no traps here. This would be the freest take of your life if you ever used a drone, which you don't do, but that's fine. You know, you could not drone and get to gold, I guess. But if you drone this out, you see this is free, you'll hop in here. Look at, you're in the fucking bomb site, dude. You're in the bomb site in a minute. And then what? You're gonna sit here, sit in this corner under the hatch. If anybody rotates in front of you, you're clapping their cheeks. You're safe from your left side. You react to sound over there. And this guy comes walking out of the closet. He doesn't know you're in the bomb site, dude. And you're in there deep. You're in there deep. You might hit an Ella mine, but like, there's no one to react off of it. And if you drone it, you'd know the Ella mine's there. So again, direct sight takes are gonna be much better because then you don't have to clear out everything. And you guys are very inefficient at clearing, right? Because you're not droning. You're all stacked up in one spot. If there's a C4, you're dead. If they have this crossfire, as you saw, they killed half your team like that. And now you're playing off pure reaction, hoping that it goes well. You killed Ella somehow. And again, you are just smoking these dudes. You're just smoking them. So I have absolutely no doubt that you could hop in scuba window and smoke everyone on site. And what does that do? What's the difference between smoking everyone on site and smoking everyone off site? Because you're like, oh, well, either way, you're going to get a couple kills. Like you run through the top, you're killing Ella and Scopus, you're getting a few kills. What's the difference between doing that there and doing that to these guys on the bomb site? And as you can see, he's rotated right into where we said you would have killed this guy. The difference is if you do it to the players on the bomb site, now the roamers are like, frick, dude. Crap, man. They're in the site. They're in the site. They're going to plant the bomb. We're going to lose. We now have to react to that and go back to site. We have to fall off the roam. What happens when they fall off the roam and come back to site? Two things. You are getting more kills on them as they retake the site. Secondly, your team is gaining control of all of the map now. Now all the roamers are gone and nobody's going to die to them. So taking the site is infinitely stronger than killing the guys on the site, sorry, is infinitely stronger than killing the guys off the site. And that's the biggest thing. The site is where the power comes from. You get power from map control. What's the best map control? The bomb site, because that's what matters. Pushing down the staircase is also a massive disadvantage, by the way. So here's the thing about pushing the staircase. They can hold you from sight. They can hold you from here. They can hold you from here. They can sit behind this and hold you. They can sit here and hold it super passive. There's a lot to clear. There's a lot to clear here. And you're in the middle of the open walking down a staircase, so you're just way easier. So if they just play a little more aggressive, I mean, these flashbangs, let's look at these flashbangs. I'm glad you're using your utility. That's a great place to start. The problem is this isn't doing anything. Like it's flashing them if they're here, but if they're here, which is a great place to play if they don't come scuba and you know they might try to take yellow at the end, it's a great place. Why? If they're taking top and they can't get the hatch because we cated it and stuff, they have to walk down two staircases, right? If you have two people in this situation on defense and one of you can hold this staircase, which is very easy, you can hold it. If you open holes in this wall here, which I would recommend, you could actually hold it from here and then you can actually hold both staircases as one person. You have some barbed wire, you have some information, L mine, whatever you can use, you know, in your inventory to have a notification like this L mine, that works too. But pushing down the staircases is the choke points of this hold, which is why I'd recommend going outside and coming in through the window or going trench door. Trench door is also going to be an easy way in. Why? Because trench door is also going to be easy because everyone reinforces this wall, which is a mistake. Because when you reinforce this wall, it allows them to only look this way. If you make footholds here, you can shoot them through the footholds and they can't shoot back. Also, they're getting a crossfire on them, and then there's like a triple cross on this door. It's way harder. But if you go trench right now, you can check this angle. There's nobody there. You break the barbed wire. You swing in. You're looking bathroom side like that Zofia. You clap this guy's cheeks. And now all of a sudden, you're killing Cade. You're in this hallway. You know, you're in the back and you're shooting them in the back. Or they're contesting you and you have a fair gunfight instead of one that's a massive disadvantage, like pushing down the staircase. It's a little more complex. It's a little more of a complex idea. You don't have to worry about it in this rank. That's more for people if you're really like at these higher ranks and struggling. Is this guy cheating? How did you know that guy was there? It looked like he freaking... Oh, he just droned him. I'm stupid. Okay, never mind. There you go. Fantastic. Fantastic. That's it. Okay. Do you notice how this guy used his drone once this game and I missed it? And I thought he was literally cheating? That's how good information is, dude. If you know exactly where someone is, people will think you're cheating. I think that's the greatest proof of concept of why droning is so strong and why you need to do it. I literally thought this guy was cheating, but he just droned a guy. And look, he knows where the last one is. He droned him. Guess what? Guess what? He's going to aim at the right spot. Oh God, oh God. Beautiful. I mean, yeah, your gunplay is definitely strong enough to get you to Emerald, Diamond even. Like, your gun skill is great. Few little adjustments like the castle round on basement with that Zofia, you know, the Tubero round. But now I can tell, like, I think those rounds were just like, you weren't warmed up. Not the castle one, but like the first round, for example, you probably weren't warmed up, weren't quite dialed in, you know? The castle round was just a mistake in crosshair placement. But now that we see when you're warmed up, you're literally, your aim is fantastic, you're right. So you should have the confidence to be playing these games. This is a one-man army in action here. So apparently all the aim training has paid off. And you guys saw this guy, he spends most of his time in like the bots. He spends most time working on his aim in the bots training playlist. And it works. It works. Like spending your time, investing your time in that stuff works. This wall is soft, which is great for you because you could just buck in through here and get this control instantly. You don't even have to open this wall. I would just drone this. So now that your wall's open, I would drone this, check out the site. You see it's clear, you buck in and you just gain this control. You push in and then you start slamming everyone because your aim's better than everyone. Well, don't let that go to your head though, because people will eventually, when you climb the ranks and your skill increases, people will eventually have the same amount of gun skill as you, and you're not gonna be able to crutch it as hard. For now, you can crutch it for quite a while to rank up. It's just not gonna work forever. And that's why I think developing these core concepts of gathering information with your drone, of using the operator's utility, you know, properly and efficiently, I think that's going to help you long term. But for right now, you could just shoot everyone and clap their cheeks, right? We love clapping cheeks around here. This is completely pointless, though. What are we doing? Just get in, bro. If Zero dies, Zero dies. He's being fucking useless anyway. He's shooting cams behind your teammate. This does not matter. This is useless. All you need to do, I guess... Yeah, you should be in here covering your teammate. You need to get in here and cover this guy because he's trying to plant and he has no cover. This guy's planting with no cover, right? If you just get in here and push with them and go deep, when they're retaking, they're still pushing through these choke points where you're just holding this angle, you know, crouch so that you're not getting shot from this doorway. Crouch, holding this, they swing this, they come back to sight, you're killing them. I mean, this is a terrible defense, obviously. You guys just walked in and planted the bomb. Why did he stop? Oh, okay, actually, no. Yep, there it is. He actually should have stopped. That was smart. I didn't realize this guy was retaking him, but he heard the guy coming. He had to get off. Why? Because you're not in there covering him. Like, go cover your teammate. Because holding this run out's doing nothing if you guys, you know, if you guys are dying on site. But you guys had so much pressure on site. You had your blitz in, you had your Capitao in. They just needed more bodies. If you were there too, now you're screwing yourself over. Okay, because now you're opening the angle for them to hold the breach from here when you could have just pushed into the site. Like, just take the site. Just walk into sight. You wouldn't know that because you didn't drone. And if you droned, you would have done what you did last round, which is kill everyone. Or if you just push with your team. Because again, we see you just sitting outside the building. Why do you always sit outside and bait on this site? Stop doing that. Just waiting and 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 waiting just to push in the last minute, dude. And now this guy's retaking it, but you know he's here. You could literally flash him and push him, but you can't because you opened the holes, right? You screwed yourself over. If you know this guy is here, and you haven't bucked the wall open, what do? One flash, right here, he's fully blind, you hop in, you move to the left, you gain this control, you sit here for a bit. If you have a flash, another flash, ideally you flash him. You don't, so I would just sit and wait, but now at least you're in this choke point. This breach is a choke point, right? Because this guy can sit behind the bomb, and when he hears you vault, he peeks and pre-fires. I mean, he's not that good, but he could also just hold a pixel on it, so when you put your face in it, you die. Again, this is why Ace or Thermite's going to be a lot better, and you want to, if you're Ace, not to do a vaultable one. You want to use 2 stacked on top of each other so you can walk through, because that's not going to give you the audio cue. That's not going to force you into this like hole of death. And this is really what these hard breach tools do, is just they just make death holes. Exactly. Now push, now push, now go, now go, now go. Let's say that guy's still there. You can't just flash and then sit here, bro. You got to take the space. That is your only opportunity to take the space because you have no flashes left anymore. The worst part is he's not even there. So if you did take this, you would see that he's there. You'd kill him and then you'd have the space. So you just got to push off the utility. And again, we are running out of time.
10 seconds left.
You know that's the thorn, so you know the bomb's clear. That's good. That's what you got to do. Exactly. But now it's too late. You did it way too late because they know there's 5 seconds and they know that you have to plant, so they're just retaking. That's tough. That's a tough L. Again, why are we waiting till the last 20 seconds to do stuff? It does not help. It does not help to wait that long. You could have done that at any point in that last minute and a half, or even 2 minutes. You could have done it way sooner with your team. Everything done with your team is going to be infinitely stronger. Get in with them instead of waiting out. Like, the run out is not doing anything if you plant the bomb. All right, we got the Tubero again. I'm surprised you didn't just pick Cade, considering your teammate didn't Cade it, but at least he is this time. Okay, we're just pre-jacking the Tubero. It's good. Great. They're not going to be able to get this now. Oh, they have the Ace and Thermite, but this is a Thatcher here. Tubero Cade is a great combo. Super effective, obviously. If you can keep this wall shut, yeah, you're going to have a much easier time. There's a last TMP. This is something we could use, guys. If you have a duo, Tubero Cade, fantastic combination. For this reason exactly. Now you might as well just use it. You're gonna waste out the EMP. Like, they're not getting the Cade Claw. I guess you could just save it, but see, here's the problem. That might still go off now because the Cade Claw takes a second to reset. So this breach might actually get open, which would not be good. Wait, meanwhile you're killing people. Hold up, what just happened? Perfect. See, and this is the power of a time stall. This isn't even just the power of Cade, okay? This is the power of stalling time, because when you stalled time, these guys are pushing here and their whole team is outside and they can't support them. Kind of like how you were outside while your whole team was in the site, except your teammates were actually doing stuff. So these guys can't support them. They're being completely useless, and your team essentially just had a 5-on-2. I mean, a lot of you guys died, mainly because, you know, you guys probably weren't holding it very well, but now you have a 2v3, okay? So that's good. That's better than having a 5-on-5, right? You want a 5-on-2. And like I mentioned, because you were late to this Tubero because you didn't want to use it, and you should have just used it the second that Thatcher EMP went off, you should have just froze the breach, or maybe wait a couple seconds, I guess, because it's not as long as the EMP. But like, no, yeah, just use it right away. And then when Thermite places his charge, he's going to place it, it's going to start going off, the Cade's going to come back, it's going to break the Thermite. But because you waited to use it, they got the breach open. So you should have just used each one like you did the first two. Like, you should have just used the third one as well. But you waited too long, so the Thermite actually got the breach, which was obviously a mistake. Peeking into pixel peaks puts you at a disadvantage. I don't care that you won this gunfight. This is putting you at a disadvantage peeking into this. And if you want to peek into it, at least do it over the desk before the walls open, ideally, obviously. You don't want to do it while the wall's open. But this allows you to hold this pixel peek, and if he peeks into it, you clap his cheeks. But peeking into this is just relying on them being literally so bad, like the first round example. This is a great angle to hold. I don't think you need to peek that here. Like, this is risky because if this guy has any awareness, he's going to kill you, especially because you started sprinting, right? You started sprinting. This guy would look and then shoot you as you swing, and then he literally wins the round. He has 20 seconds. How can this guy possibly win the round at this point? And I feel like I say this every week, but that's fine. How could this guy win the round with 20 seconds left in a 1v1? He could kill you, or he could plant the bomb. What does he need in order to plant the bomb? The diffuser, which you know you have because you killed the guy that dropped it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you killed the glass. So you know this guy has the diffuser because it would pop up on your point screen. Maybe you don't know. Let's say you don't know. Let's assume you don't know. That's fine. This guy still has to plant. There's no need to swing him here. You just hold 90. If he pushes up 90, he's pushing into your angle, and you shoot him and you win, right? If you are holding the angle already, you have an advantage in the gunfight. As long as you're both, you know, as long as it's an even gunfight. Like, he's in the open, you're in the open, but you're holding the angle, he's running into you, you have the advantage, okay? So we hold that. If he goes into the site, let's say he has a diffuser and he starts planting, that's when you push. That's when you push, because you can hear him planting. You start pushing up the hallway. If he gets off, you're aiming the whole time. You're aiming the whole time. You're aiming the whole time. If he gets off and peeks you, you slam him. If he doesn't, you know he's trapped, you slam him. If he goes back here and starts planting, it's gonna be tough, but then you can push through this way and kind of come around the corner, aiming again and doing the same thing, and you just repeat the process. process. For our sakes in copper, you can just peek that guy. For higher ranks, emerald, diamond, that's how you can improve, is by not peeking that guy. Again, I think when you're on these like bottom floor sites or middle floor sites, you could just go direct. Like I will guarantee you there is a way to get into this site for free. Firstly, from this window, you can open it, hold this angle. If anyone peeks you, they die. If you were to drone this, there you go. You're in the bomb site. Like there's nobody stopping you from rappelling in here and taking this, because if you drone this out and see there's nobody here, you throw a flash, you rappel in, you come in here, you're in the bomb site, right? Or you could come up red stairs. You go bottom red, come up here, break the barb. If they swing you, you're getting a freebie because you have the head glitch and they're in the middle of the open, so you have the advantage. Or you can try to go museum direct. They're clearly holding this. And in that case, you know, let's say you go museum direct, you see a couple people down here. You could it's kind of safe to assume that 1 or 2 more people would be here. And in that case, you're like, okay, I'll just go above then, right? And then you can go above. That's an easier way to clear roamers. Deal with it that way, is add pressure to the site. And by adding pressure to the site first, you're gonna draw more attention off of the roam. Yep, that's good. That's nice. Very nice play. Very nice play. Quick hatch peek. These guys are morons. You're slamming them from vertical play is so effective if you do it right. And most of the time you don't even need to do it right. You just need to do that. Because as you can tell, the other team are just morons. So wow, what a clean finish. What a clean finish. And this guy should be clapped here. Aim. Stop unaiming, bro. This is the thing that is really bothering me. Like, you're aiming, and then when you need to peek, you stop aiming. Like, it doesn't do anything for you. Just keep your sights, keep aiming down your sights. And, like, if this guy just swung wide off that, you just died because you stopped aiming. Oh, my dear Lord. It was so good, and then it just gets so bad. I really wish this doc just literally won this round and slammed all of you. He's not going to, but I wish he did, because the fact that you just keep on aiming is asking to lose. But anyway, overall, very good work. 17-4 and a very well-deserving 17-4. I think that was a hard carry. Most of the rounds you won was because you were positioned well, you're using your utility well, and you're playing smart, and that's great. So don't be scared to play ranked. Eventually, you will hit your peak, and you know, then you might stagnate for a bit, and all you have to do is keep learning, because that's how you get better at this game. So play ranked, keep learning, get better. Very nicely done. We'll see you on the next one.